Part 2, The Diplomatic Crisis. Heading: A sudden turn of events. The peaceful morning was shattered by the blaring of emergency alarms. Jackson and Kayla rushed to the command center, where Ambassador Terran was already reviewing the situation. The Drachnid delegation, a rival faction from the Outer Rim, had arrived unannounced, demanding an immediate audience. Heading: The Drachnid Threat. Ambassador Drax, the leader of the Drachnid delegation, was a formidable figure. His scaled skin gleamed under the artificial lights, his cold eyes scanning the room with calculated precision. He wasted no time in presenting his demands, accusing Earth of violating the non-interference treaty in the Riel sector. Heading: A Test of Alliances. The tension in the room was palpable as the accusations flew. Kayla stood by her uncle's side, her violet eyes narrowing as she listened to Drax's claims. Jackson remained calm, his sharp mind analyzing every word, looking for inconsistencies. Heading: The Hidden Agenda. As the meeting progressed, it became clear that the Drachnids had an ulterior motive. Their accusations were a smokescreen, a distraction from their true intentions. Jackson and Kayla exchanged a glance, both realizing that they needed to uncover the truth before it was too late. Heading: A Dangerous Game. The stakes were high, and the clock was ticking. Jackson and Kayla knew that they had to act quickly, but they also had to be careful. One wrong move could jeopardize the fragile alliance between Earth and the Celestial Confederation. Heading: The First Clue. As they delved deeper into the mystery, Jackson and Kayla discovered a hidden data chip in the Drachnid delegation's quarters. The information it contained was damning, revealing a plot to destabilize the alliance and seize control of key resources. Heading: A Race Against Time. With the evidence in hand, Jackson and Kayla prepared to confront the Drachnids. But they knew that it wouldn't be easy. The Drachnids were cunning and ruthless, and they would stop at nothing to achieve their goals. Heading: The Showdown. The final confrontation took place in the heart of the diplomatic compound. Jackson and Kayla faced off against Drax and his elite guards, their skills and determination put to the ultimate test. The battle was fierce, but in the end, justice prevailed. Heading: A New Beginning. With the Drachnid threat neutralized, the alliance between Earth and the Celestial Confederation was stronger than ever. Jackson and Kayla had proven themselves as true allies, their bond forged in the heat of battle. As they stood together, looking out over the horizon, they knew that their journey was far from over. But for now, they could take a moment to breathe, to reflect on all that they had accomplished, and to look forward to the challenges that lay ahead. Part 3, The Hidden Threat. Heading: A New Mission. With the Drachnid crisis behind them, Jackson and Kayla were assigned a new mission, to investigate a series of mysterious disappearances on the outer colonies. The reports were troubling, and the stakes were high. Heading: The Journey Begins. As they prepared for their journey, Jackson and Kayla found themselves growing closer. The bond they had formed during the Drachnid crisis had deepened, and they now trusted each other implicitly. Heading: The First Clue. Their investigation led them to a remote colony on the edge of known space. The colony was eerily quiet, the streets deserted. As they explored, they discovered a hidden underground facility, its purpose unclear. Heading: The Dark Secret. Inside the facility, they found evidence of illegal experiments, the kind that could only be conducted by someone with access to advanced technology. The implications were chilling, and they knew that they had to act quickly. Heading: The Enemy Within. As they delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of power. The enemy they were facing was not just a rogue scientist, but a shadowy organization with far-reaching influence. Heading: The Final Confrontation. The final confrontation took place in the heart of the facility. Jackson and Kayla faced off against the leader of the organization, a man who had once been a respected member of the Terran Defense Force. The battle was intense, but in the end, justice prevailed. Heading: A New Dawn. With the threat neutralized, Jackson and Kayla returned to Earth, their bond stronger than ever. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, their resolve unshaken. As they stood together, looking out over the horizon, they knew that their journey was far from over. But for now, they could take a moment to breathe, to reflect on all that they had accomplished, and to look forward to the challenges that lay ahead. Part 4, The Final Stand. Heading: The Gathering Storm. The peace was short-lived. A new threat emerged, one that would test Jackson and Kayla like never before. The enemy was powerful, their motives unclear, and the stakes were higher than ever. Heading: The Call to Arms. Jackson and Kayla were called to lead a task force to confront the new threat. They knew that the mission would be dangerous, but they also knew that they had no choice. The fate of Earth and the Celestial Confederation hung in the balance. Heading: The Battle Begins. The battle was fierce, the enemy's forces overwhelming. Jackson and Kayla fought side by side, their skills and determination put to the ultimate test. The odds were against them, but they refused to give up. Heading: The Turning Point. As the battle raged on, Jackson and Kayla discovered a weakness in the enemy's defenses. They knew that they had to act quickly, but the risk was great. The decision was made, and they launched a daring assault. Heading: The Final Stand. The final confrontation was brutal, the enemy's leader a formidable opponent. Jackson and Kayla fought with everything they had, their bond giving them strength. In the end, they emerged victorious, but the cost was high. Heading: A New Beginning. With the enemy defeated, Jackson and Kayla returned to Earth, their bond stronger than ever. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, their resolve unshaken. As they stood together, looking out over the horizon, they knew that their journey was far from over. But for now, they could take a moment to breathe, to reflect on all that they had accomplished, and to look forward to the challenges that lay ahead. Part 1, The Arrival of the Celestial Stranger. Heading: A New Dawn on Earth. The sun rose over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the sprawling Terran spaceport Alpha. The air was thick with anticipation as the massive diplomatic vessel, Starlight Seraph, descended gracefully through Earth's atmosphere. On board was a delegation from the Celestial Confederation, a powerful alliance of alien species from distant star systems. Among them was Lady Kayla Voss, a renowned warrior from the planet Etheris, known for her unmatched combat skills and fierce independence. Commander Jackson Holt, a seasoned officer of the Terran Defense Force, stood at the spaceport's landing bay, his sharp eyes scanning the skies. His broad shoulders and commanding presence made him a figure of respect among his peers. As the Starlight Seraph touched down, Jackson adjusted his uniform, preparing to greet the visitors. The airlock hissed open, and the delegation emerged, led by Ambassador Terran Voss, Lady Kayla's uncle. Heading: The Gravity of the Situation. Lady Kayla stepped onto the tarmac, her silver hair catching the sunlight as she moved with the grace of a predator. Her violet eyes scanned the surroundings, taking in the bustling activity of the spaceport. She wore a sleek, form-fitting combat suit that accentuated her lithe frame, a stark contrast to the bulky armor of her human counterparts. "Welcome to Earth," Jackson said, his deep voice carrying a note of formality. "I trust your journey was pleasant." Kayla smirked, her pointed ears twitching slightly. "Pleasant enough, Commander. Though I must say, your planet's gravity is underwhelming. I expected more from a world that prides itself on its strength." Jackson raised an eyebrow, a hint of amusement playing on his lips. "We'll see how you feel after a few hours on solid ground." Heading: The First Steps. As the delegation made their way to the diplomatic quarters, Kayla's confidence began to waver. The gravity of Earth was far more intense than she had anticipated. Each step felt like a battle, her muscles straining against the relentless pull. She clenched her jaw, refusing to show any sign of weakness. Jackson noticed her struggle but said nothing, allowing her to maintain her dignity. They reached the compound's entrance, a grand structure that blended Terran and Etherian architectural styles. Kayla's legs trembled as she ascended the steps, her pride the only thing keeping her upright. Heading, a warrior's resolve. Inside the compound, Kayla was shown to her quarters. She collapsed onto the specially designed bed, every muscle in her body aching. The door chimed, and she called out, "Enter." Jackson stepped in, carrying a set of training gear. "Thought you might need these," he said, placing the gear on a nearby table. "We start tomorrow at 0600 hours. The training facility is equipped to help you adjust to Earth's gravity." Kayla propped herself up on her elbows, her violet eyes locking onto his. "I don't need your help, Commander. I am an Etherian warrior. I will adapt." Jackson nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "I have no doubt you will. But even warriors need allies." Heading, the first training session. The next morning, Kayla arrived at the training facility precisely at 0600 hours. She had exchanged her formal attire for a sleek training suit, the purple material complementing her pale skin. Jackson was already there, his muscular frame clad in a simple black training outfit. "Ready to begin?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. Kayla nodded, her expression determined. "Let's see what Earth has to offer." They started with basic resistance exercises, Jackson guiding her through each movement with precision. Kayla's natural grace was hindered by the gravity, but she refused to give in. Jackson watched her closely, offering corrections when needed. "Your form is good," he said, "but you're fighting against the gravity. Try to work with it, not against it." Kayla frowned, her frustration evident. "How can I work with something that's trying to crush me?" Jackson stepped closer, his presence commanding. "Earth's gravity is a constant. It's not your enemy. Use it to your advantage. Let it ground you." He demonstrated a series of movements, his powerful frame flowing seamlessly despite the gravity. Kayla watched intently, her respect for him growing with each passing moment. Heading, a growing connection. As the training session progressed, Kayla began to find her rhythm. Her movements became more fluid, her confidence returning. Jackson's guidance was invaluable, his experience evident in every correction he made. During a water break, Kayla glanced at Jackson, her violet eyes filled with curiosity. "You're not like other humans I've met. There's a strength in you that goes beyond physical power." Jackson met her gaze, his dark eyes steady. "Earth shapes us in ways you can't imagine. It teaches us resilience, adaptability. It makes us who we are." Kayla nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Perhaps there's more to your world than I initially thought." Heading, the challenge ahead. As the training session came to an end, Jackson and Kayla found themselves standing close, the air between them charged with unspoken tension. Kayla's heart raced, not just from the physical exertion but from the growing connection she felt with the human commander. "Tomorrow," Jackson said, his voice low, "we'll move on to more advanced techniques. Are you ready for the challenge?" Kayla's eyes sparkled with determination. "I was born ready, Commander." As they left the training facility, both knew that their journey was just beginning. The challenges ahead would test their strength, their resolve, and the bond that was forming between them. But for now, they were content to take it one step at a time, each moment bringing them closer to understanding not just each other, but the worlds they represented.